Okay, final video on Rick's stuff. Hopefully he doesn't get into more trouble. Anyway, I stopped on his barn load center here. And the one thing somebody pointed out, which I saw as well, is they're sticking two wires into this lug, and you really should only have one. And the reason that is so that if one wire pulls out, from because it gets loose or whatever, and then you're drawing the whole load through the one wire. So they like to have them as a single wire. He bought two wires because he's saving money on not buying a thicker gauge that would be one. So you could have pulled this insulation back a little bit more. You could have twisted these together. You could have put solder on them. You could have put a ferrule on them. It would have probably been a better deal, but it would still be against code because you can't run two wires. But it doesn't matter. So what I'm saying is he needs to I'm sure he's got this pushed in farther, or he needs to push it in a little farther or whatever, because it doesn't need to be planted all the way. But anyway, just after you heat it up and cycle a little while, recheck and hit these lugs and retighten them up a little bit. Just make sure they're cinched down and make sure you got nothing's loose. And same for the rest of these. In time, as you heat them and cool them and cycle them, you can re-snug them up, and you're going to, wow, that's loose, I can't believe it. But after a while, you ain't going to get nothing. That's from brand new builds and getting in the initial break-in of a electrical box system, whatever you want to call it. So other than that, I won't pick on Rick stuff anymore. But don't pull these out and go buy new wire. Just tighten up the lug, but just turn the power off before you do it. Let's see, okay, what else? Okay, I was going to show you guys this one. There's a company called EC&M, trade magazine, and they send me a notice. All of you electrical guys in the field, electricians, this is kind of up your alley, not really mine, but I like it because it's entertaining and I learn stuff, and it also helps teach me the jargon. So while I am talking to some of you yahoos, I'll say all the right words so you think I'm smarter than I actually am. These are free. They'll send it to you. They actually put out the paper as well for most trade magazines like this. They want subscribers so they can charge more for their listings. Because here we are, they're showing their thing, and right there they're advertising for Fluke. So the bigger head count they got, the more they can charge for putting this ad in. So if you go to click over to the articles, which I already did over here. Actually, I clicked over and I found this one here where city not following proper standards. The government, really? Rick, come on. You know these guys are great. Anyway, the electrical guy got killed. And anyway, let's see. I pulled the report up here. It's right up Rick's alley. I can also test my video recorder here to see how that works. Okay, we're going to play this video for Rick because he loves the government so much.
Report that shows the city was not following proper protocol the day an electrical worker was killed last summer. Since then, the city has been working to address the issues. Not on your sides, Mariel Carbone tells us what the city is doing to make sure something like this does not happen again.
Improper training, unqualified persons, energized lines. All of these violations, state investigators say, were made by the city.
I hope to God it never happens again. It was truly awful.
According to a report by the Ohio Bureau of Workers' Compensation, the city violated a dozen PERP standards the day a city electrical worker was killed on the job in June. PERP stands for the Ohio Public Employment Risk Reduction Program.
Anytime we lose a member of our family, it's a terribly sad thing. It also requires us to work really hard to make sure it never happens again.
48-year-old Leroy Garrison Jr. was working alone the day he came into contact with live wires and was electrocuted.
And they'll be taking measurements, photographs.
Since then, the city has addressed and corrected all but one citation.
They looked at all the training, and realized that there could be more training, which is happening, that the equipment could be better insulated.
The remaining citation is listed as in progress. Councilman Greg Landsman says the city has been aggressive in making sure this never happens again.
We've done that, and there's still some things in progress. But it's also something that makes you realize just how hard some of these jobs are. Beyond police and fire, our public service folks do some of the hardest jobs, and it's very dangerous.
In Mount Airy, Mariel Carbone, 9 on your side.
Okay, I didn't interrupt like Rick would, but he was probably chomping at the bit to talk on that one. Anyway, here's the page. That was off that article. And they got all kinds of stuff in here that you can read. And the one I like, if I can find it. Let me go back to the home page here. I didn't prepare so well. They sell new products as they're selling stuff. Here you have like the 10 craziest code violations. Some of these, like up here, for something like this, there's probably something wrong here, but I'm not seeing it because that's not my deal, not my wheelhouse. But they have one where you got to figure out the puzzle of what the hell they did wrong on it. Here, I'm not finding it. I should have been prepared. I thought it was right in here. Top stories? No. It's like being prepared, right? You guys are like, come on. Anyway, they go. They have a section for code violations in here. Damn, I can't find it. Code quiz, that's one. That's not what I was looking for, though. Oh, here you go. What's wrong? They'll pop these up, and they'll show something wired up, and then they'll ask you what's wrong with this guy, and you got to look at it. Most of it's trying to teach people the NEC rules. It's time to read the grounding rules again. So the clue here is that somebody doesn't have something grounded right here. And right off the bat, I ain't seeing it, but I got to look a little bit, and I don't get it, but I read the fix. I'm like, oh, okay, I see it now. Then it helps me for the next time. So these what wrong sections are ones I like. And, okay, that's that. I wasted too much time there. Here's a panel that I designed in my technician's belt. You can see I got phase tape on all three. Ground, there is no neutrals here. You got it's a three-phase system, so I don't know what's on here right now because I can't remember, but it's probably a pump, a water heater or something, and maybe another pump. So I didn't run any neutrals because I didn't need them. You just had the three phases in the ground. That's all you needed. So for that one, but I like to have a lot of extra space. You got room to work, service loops so you can deal with it. And that where I had those two wires going in, I was telling Rick I've done it before. So here's the main wire coming in, and then you got this big old plate, and then all the holes on there where then you could mount all your wires. You can see I got quite a few wires coming off of there. The wire coming off is a coaxial, where there's the center conductor on the bottom, and then the outer braid, they heat shrink it up and put a lug on it, then bolt that down. Can you have trouble if one of these comes off and puts it? Yeah, but it's part of the maintenance schedule of the machine that you check all these and put them together. I got a picture of them. Here's where they took them off of the power supply because they tore this thing down and they shipped it out to another state or out of the country. So that's part of the deal, taking it apart. So they unbolted these two plates, and those are the two connectors, shall we say. So there's a lot of different ways to skin things out. The other side of that, you can see the center conductors coming up to here, but they fit on this water-cooled isolation transformer here. There's the water lines going into it. So you got high voltage, water, high frequency, all kinds of fun stuff in there. This one here was actually mounted up about 15 feet in the air just to get it closer to where we needed to have it and to shorten the lines. I can't talk too much, but a little bit. I should have gone to the original picture. This is the one I took and sent to Rick. Here's the bottom of a cabinet. Notice all the extra space. I got a ground bar. I always like having a big isolated ground bar right here in these brackets. And then I got a copper bar for the neutral, and we got our labels on them. And you can quickly inspect that the guy's got the right colors hooked up to the right bus bar. But then I also had these guys, I'd have them take this, they'd roll out a big old sheet of copper, hammer it in half together, then fold it over so you don't have sharp edges. So I'd have this flat plane that I'd use for a high frequency ground and run that out to the device out there to help keep noise down. So there's a lot of different ways to do ground. And what's the other one? I was picking on Rick because he was pointing with his finger all the time. I know his finger was back, but it's just bad practice, and I'm giving him shit. So anyway, here's the transformer again, and here I got fuses that were part of the assembly on the secondary, and then there's a fuse on the input. And you leave it like this, and the guy's pointing. I'm pointing at that fuse with he's sticking his finger out, or back and forth. So then what I do then... Oop, that's not the right one. You stupid. Okay, here you go. So then their same transformer, then put a plastic, the guy will take plexiglass or Lexan or whatever, and he'll heat it up and shape it and make a plastic cover on here so that you stop guys from sticking their fingers out and hitting it. And that's why a lot of the devices are called finger safe. That way you can't touch it. They had this stupid tool called the NEMA finger, and that would tell you how far it can reach in. It'd have a voltage scale on it. It was actually pretty lame. We used to make a lot of fun of it. It's called the NEMA finger or the OSHA finger. But anyway, it's okay. Use all you can to try to figure things out. I think that's all I had there. Looking over here. Okay, that's it. I'm not going to pick on Rick anymore. I think he's gets picked on enough. Yeah, maybe not. But anyway, you guys might want to go sign up with these guys. And they got a lot of information. You can learn more and more. The more you know, the more you see. And that just might have been where I got that picture of the ground rod in the bucket of dirt, maybe, I'm thinking. Unless that was a total prank. But, okay, I think that's it. No more electrical stuff for me for a little bit, unless you guys want something. Okay, done.